Right, as we go on here, I would like to spend a little bit of time and talk about the different things, the different types of lures that work pretty well in July. You know, July is a little bit of a transition time frame. June is probably one of the very best walleye bites there is for the year. The fish are post-spawn, they really eat well. There's a lot of different techniques that'll catch them. And they're usually glued fairly tight to some structure. In July, the fish do a few other things. They go on structure also, but normally tend to locate themselves a little bit deeper on the drop-offs. They also suspend next to any type of structure like a sunken island or a big point that sticks out, things like that. They also, because it depends on how hot the weather is and how hot it's been during the month, they'll go out to offshore structure, sunken islands in particular. They'll also suspend out into the flats area, pretty far away from structure. So you've got, you know, the walleyes themselves are dispersed all over the place, quite frankly. So there's a few baits that really seem to shine. Unfortunately, July also means that walleyes can start to get a little picky. And some of the live bait techniques and the jigs and crawlers and stuff that worked before don't necessarily work that well unless you're fishing suspended fish, you know, with forward-facing sonar. But what I'm talking about are baits that will work good with forward-facing, but they're also going to work good fishing the tops of reefs and the edges, the deep edges and steep edges. So there's a couple baits. I'm going to start off with this bait here. It's kind of an unsung little bait. It's called the Berkeley Jack. And the thing is, baits like this are pretty popular, especially in May and June. But the Jack itself is a very high action bait. It can be fished vertically and casted. And it's a great bait for fishing open water fish with forward-facing sonar. You locate the fish. Not enough people use this style bait for that, but you let it sink down to the fish and then you try to work it a little bit above the fish. And walleyes are different than bass. In a lot of cases, if you let it free fall and go to the bottom, the fish will follow it and they'll pluck it up off the bottom. So the Jack is kind of an unsung bait for that technique. A lot of people aren't using it as much as they should. It's pretty effective. But one of the places I really like to use it is when the fish are located on the edges of steep drop-offs or even on reef tops. If I look at Green Bay as an example, there are many places like Larson's Reef and some of the big reef areas on the west shore that the fish will locate up on the shallow sections of the reef. And if it's somewhat calm, you can't really troll over the top of them because it spooks the fish and they won't bite. Well, this is a great bait for those types of situations because you can cast it pretty long distances from the boat and work it back, and it's got a real nice action. It's a little narrower than some of the other baits of this style, so it reminds me perfectly of an alewife or a bait along those lines. So definitely one you want to put in your arsenal. The next one here is called the Finisher, and you've probably heard just a tremendous amount of talk about this bait in the last couple of years. It's absolutely dominated a few tournaments. I know some world championships where the guys who weren't sponsored by Berkeley actually used them and did extremely well on big fish with them. This is a new version. This is a size 10. And it's a bait that is a little bit longer than the rest of them that came out like a year or two ago. This new size 10 is fantastic for Erie fish, Saginaw Bay fish that are a little bit bigger, Green Bay fish. And again, you could fish this on suspended fish where you're using forward-facing sonar. But kind of a sleeper is when you get an area like a reef edge or a deep drop-off in the month of July. You basically, if it's not too snaggy, you can work these and bounce them off the bottom too. And you work them like a real hardcore active jig. So again, this is the new size 10 Finisher, and it's for bigger fish. There's no doubt about it. But you'll be surprised how effective this new big size is. And then one of my favorites that came out, you know, Tom Kimos is one of my best friends. And for years, Tommy and I talked about a jig that would have a rotating slow death type of hook, okay? Now, I developed the slow death hook and the super death hook. I did not develop the Berkeley version, but the premise of the first bend and spinning the crawler real heavy duty was a hook that I designed, but I learned the technique from the guys in the Dakotas that were hand bending their own hooks or using true turn hooks when they started. The problem with the previous hooks that were made before that is that you couldn't get a consistent spin. So that's one of the reasons why I helped some companies design the hook. Well, Tommy took it a step further. One of the things that Tommy always wanted was a jig that would have that rotating style hook where you could hook a crawler or a plastic crawler on the end and it would spin like slow death. Because for some reason, the fish can't resist that spinning action. You know, walleyes are absolute suckers for it. And so he actually took some of the concept stuff that we talked about, and Tom actually made a couple of jigs in his shop that worked pretty good, but they weren't as snagless as he'd like. You know, when you casted them, they tangled up a lot. So he worked with the Berkeley guys, one in particular, his good friend of mine, his name is Kyle. And they built a couple things. They built a brand new hook, which will spin plastics or even a full crawler if you want to use a full crawler. They've got a little crawler catcher on the hook itself, so your night crawler can't slide down very easy. It's fantastic the way it works. And then Tommy worked with those guys to build a system here where the hook won't tangle if you want to cast it. He's got the same sort of configuration in a spinner version. So you've got a non-spinner version of this, it's called the Rawler jig, and a spinner version of the Rawler. Now, where do you use these baits? They are absolutely deadly whenever you're fishing over structure. I watched a couple guys win so much money on this type of style bait on Green Bay. They go in the months of July in particular, go on these reef tops, and if they got on top of it too far with their boat, it would spook the fish, right? And so they really learned that you can only troll over the tops of these reefs with spinners on rough days. Well, they would go out in even pretty calm days and just absolutely annihilate the fish. And so that's one of the ace places where this is used. You basically pick whatever weight head that you want to get to the bottom, and then you slow roll it. The way I like to fish it is with the bladed version, I'll cast it out on a reef top or the top shallower part of a steep drop off. And then I'll rotate the handle for a few cranks, not very fast, just to get the crawler spinning good. And then I'll kill it. I'll just stop reeling and let it slowly go to the bottom. That allows this jig head, the weight of the jig head, to swim that bait down to the bottom. And then I'll start reeling again, or I'll pop it, one of the two, and the fish will annihilate it. And the neat thing is you can fish shallower structure in the summer that you can't really fish, with trolling unless it's real rough, like I said. So, and you can do that with both of these. And some days they'll want just the jig without the spinner, and depends on the body of water. Other days they'll want the one with the spinner. So that new Rawler situation, bait style that Tommy Kimos and Berkeley put together is just a tremendous bait for those summer months.